If you're new to the channel and you don't already know my Raptor, that's okay. It's slightly famous though, with about 5 million views on my other channel, The Stray Pipes, and about 4.5 million views on my buddy Chris Fix's channel. When I bought this thing in 2019, it had 350,000 kilometers or 220,000 miles on it, and I paid $18,000 Canadian or approximately $13,000 US for it. In this video, I will go year by year, give you a full maintenance cost update, how much this cost me to keep it on the road, including some of the modifications that I've made to it over the years in a separate category, of course, because that's not maintenance. And we'll see if I should have just bought a more expensive, lower mileage one at the end of the day. But first, some background. This was my first big car, or literally big truck purchase, since I quit my old office job and took on YouTube full time. Sold my Lexus ISF so that we would have enough money for the Stray Pipes, and bought a $5,000 GS 430 to make ends meet. No regrets on any of those decisions, by the way. So at the time that I bought this, it was the cheapest and highest mileage Raptor for sale. I never cared about trucks before this thing came out. I saw it at the Toronto Auto Show in 2010, brand new, and it blew my mind. Instantly became my dream truck. Actually, this is a bit of a funny sidebar. I also took pictures of the Fiesta in 2010, and then I ended up buying a Fiesta ST later, which I also sold. And then I also saw an SLS AMG, took a lot of pictures of that. That's one of my dream cars. If you ever see that in my garage, I've definitely made it. And my ultimate of all ultimates, which I saw in 2011, was a Lexus LFA. So if you see that one, I've probably sold my body. And I also saw a Corvette ZR1, and I ended up buying a Corvette Z06. So I mean, I think I'm actually happier with this one. That was in 2008 or 9. And in 2008, I also saw a Lexus ISF, which I also ended up buying. So if there's any moral from the story, it's go to the auto show and start a YouTube channel. Highly recommend it. Back to the cost, which is why you guys are here. First bill for this thing, $1,500. Ben at Dixie Blue Service had to fix new rear brakes because they were seized, upper control arms and ball joints, every fluid and filter in the truck, and the inspection. Not too bad. 2 days later, I took it to our auto detail, who did a full interior detail with ozone treatment to get rid of the smoke smell and a quick exterior wash. That was $500. Worth every penny. This thing reeked of cigarettes or cigarillos or whatever this guy smoked. Completely gone now. The next thing that broke was 2 months later, and that was the front calipers, which seized up, so we replaced the rotors as well for a total cost of $430 by Dixie Blue Service. Now, you'll see that some of these problems that I've had were because the truck kind of sat a lot. That's kind of the theme of this. A lot of these costs, if you own this truck, wouldn't actually be passed down to you. I've had to replace the calipers a number of times, which you'll see as I get to, because this truck sat a lot. My real job is to review brand new cars, so sometimes my cars actually tend to sit. I'd never had this garage prior to last year, so this thing was outside all the time. It sat for weeks on end, and so things just seized up. 2 months later, I wanted to get the front differential oil replaced and my Raptor Retrofit headlights. Let's turn on those bad boys. Oh, they look so good. That Ford beat's gonna drop. Check this out here, bring it over here. I got these custom made by Raptor Retrofit, worth every penny. Highly recommend it. You can get your own set. They cost me approximately $1,350. And he can make them to your custom specifications. So if you like what you see here, just tell him you want the Stray Pipes version. It says SVT on it, all custom done. Come on, oh wow, that sounds really, good boy, buddy. Next thing I got done, actually at the same time, these Morimoto marker lights, they just modernized the whole truck, the front end. Instead of being these little regular amber halogen bulbs, they became straight line LEDs, kind of similar to the newest Raptor. So really liked them, that was about $80. These are separate costs, this is not maintenance. A few months later, I couldn't resist. I got a Corsa Xtreme catback that I bought from Raptor Racing. It was about $1,700, worth every penny. It's got the craziest, loudest startup bark. Let's take a listen. Oh. When you're cruising along, can't even tell that it's aftermarket. Literally perfect. Drop that window and send it. Out my first year of ownership costs, we actually had a meet with Speed Academy at the racetrack. And yeah, I took this thing. Maybe it was a mistake, maybe it wasn't. Anyways, the integrated wheel end decided to die. And so what that means is the truck was constantly trying to engage 3-wheel drive on turns. And on top of that, my blended door motor also went, which means that the truck was constantly blowing heat no matter what. I could set it to maximum cold and whatever, just constant heat. So thank you to my wife for dealing with that on a long summer road trip to the cottage and with the jet ski on the back and the dog in the truck. So thanks, buddy. Sorry about that. So that total cost for all those things, $800, and I also replaced the transmission fluid, a couple other things here and there. Oh, and I also had to replace the third brake light for some reason. Yeah, the thing back there at the back. That's Raptor specific for some reason. It was giving me a hill descent warning, $500. And then I got these Blackhorn wheels for about $1,000 and Contiental TerraintContact AT tires, which I love. Thank you, Rex. And the tonneau cover that came with the truck was falling apart. It was a trifold, didn't like it. I got the Sentry CT, love it. It's a roll-up, super convenient. So that brings my total maintenance cost for 2019, my first year of ownership, to $3,900. It's kind of a lot. $21,900 would be the total with maintenance, and I still couldn't have found a Raptor for anywhere near that. I also didn't have that much money to spend at the time, so at this point, still looking like a bargain. And yes, it's kind of cold in here. I can see my breath. It's the middle of winter. Leave me alone. 2020 started off in January, as it always does. I needed a new battery, $260. That was also 2020, where all that crap happened, and I decided that I needed to go outside again, so I jumped the truck. Had a lot of fun doing that. Oh, yeah. In April, I noticed that my air conditioning wasn't conditioning the air anymore. I needed a new compressor, $700. That's it for 2020. Who's looking pretty smart right now and pointing at themselves? Yeah, that's right. $960 for the year, bringing my grand total to $22,860. 2021. This was an expensive year. I'm showing you the Fox shocks for a reason. They need to be rebuilt every 50,000 miles or about 80,000 kilometers. I had to get those done this year. I'm going to hit you with some car guy math though. Also, please don't look at the rust there. Ugh. Now there are some ways to do what I'm about to tell you for a lot cheaper. You can get these shocks rebuilt from some companies. It'll cost you around $700 to $1,000. They'll build them to your specifications. You got to send your old cores back to be able to get the savings, because otherwise it'll cost you nearly $2,000. But here's what I paid, because I really wanted brand new ones, because I had no idea when these ones were rebuilt. They didn't look so hot. They're a little rusty, even though they're aluminum. I just wanted everything new, peace of mind. So the front and the rears cost me $2,400, brand new. Keep in mind, this is 2021, where that whole parts supply chain thing happened and nobody could get any parts, because I literally couldn't get the original Ford springs because mine had cracked. So I opted for an upgrade to the geysers. So that's what I have right now. The springs were about $900, and they're actually a progressive coil, which I prefer because they're even more comfortable on the road, because they stiffen up into turns and theoretically they're better for jumps. Stock coils are not progressive, they're just linear. Now the cool thing about the geyser springs is they raise the front end just a little bit to give the truck a perfectly level stance, because from the factory, there's a bit of a rake down to the nose, I guess for safety reasons, I'm not really sure. But now, looks perfect. So while we did those, we did a couple more things. Here I've got the totals and all the things that we did. Again, this is where the calipers come in. They seized up again because the truck was just sitting. I drove this thing to 379,000 kilometers when we did all this stuff, or 235,000 miles. We also did the lower ball joints, alignment, oil change for a grand total of $5,500. That's a lot of money. However, here's the car guy math for you. Those shocks need to be replaced on every Raptor. Doesn't matter, every 50,000 miles or 80,000 kilometers. So unless you bought one of these and you had a maintenance record showing that those had been recently replaced, that's something that you're going to have to pay regardless of how much you spend on your Raptor or the mileage that it has. So here's my car guy math. Right now, we're at a grand total of $28,360. If you subtract $3,680 for the shocks and installation and everything, that's only $24,680. Not bad. You see where I'm coming from? I think that's pretty accurate. That's probably the best car guy math I could probably ever do. Now it's 2022. I'm driving my truck. I noticed that the coolant isn't getting up to temperature. It's just staying a little too cold. Call up Ben? Sure, it needs a thermostat. $130. Not bad. That's my only bill for 2022. That brings my grand total to $24,810 minus the Fox shocks. I'll give you both at the end, don't worry. 2023. Nothing broke. Yeah, that's right. I only fixed stuff in 2023 for free. I changed the oil myself. Super easy to do. I really like doing it. And I also fixed this. This is my tailgate step. It never worked. I tried to get multiple people to fix this. Nobody could fix it. Everyone's trying to take it apart. Well, guess who fixed it? Strongman over here. I reefed on this so hard. Boom. Works. You can even roll this out. Yeah, I've actually fixed the full tailgate step. 2023, same total, nothing changes. 2024, nothing has broken. Yes, we're not far into 2024, but at least give me that. Total, so far, $24,810 without the shocks, $29,490 with them. It's cold, gotta go back in the garage. All right, I can finally feel my hands a little bit. Bright red, I don't know if you can tell. Let's get to this. Could I have bought a Raptor for $30,000 with less mileage? Absolutely. Could I have actually done that? No, I didn't have the money at the time. I spent basically everything into this, which was a crazy decision at the time, but I'm very glad that I did it. Everything worked out the way that I had hoped, and because all the maintenance took me years to kind of accrue, I feel like I'm almost financing a $30,000 truck for less than 20 over the years. Sure, there's my car guy stuff. That's what's going up in here. Anyways, I regret nothing. The truck is great. It's still cheaper than buying anything, and I have a whole story to tell, and it helped start the straight pipes and kind of catapult us because we bought our dream cars, did a road trip and all that stuff. If I bought a lower mileage one for regular price, nobody would have cared. The fact that I bought the cheapest and highest mileage one, everybody cared. So that's kind of how I look at cars. I do buy a lot of high mileage cars, and let me know what you guys think of this video because it's kind of scary to add up all those totals, but it's also very interesting. So I'm probably gonna do something like that for all my cars, or at least something relatively similar, but don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, do the thing, and all the regular stuff that you people do on YouTube. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it.